QIRA is the next generation of bio-based BDO made from renewable feedstocks that significantly reduces CO2 emissions compared to materials made with fossil fuel-based BDO. Peter, so that's the next question. Why is it so important that BDO is also bio-based?
Yeah, this is exactly what I mentioned before. It is absolutely essential that also big companies get into business, and BDO, for instance, is a key base chemical. It must be produced biologically, and I'm looking forward for polymer producers and others to be able to buy the bio-based BDO in the future.
Great. So welcome, Benjamin Rump, the Global Marketing Lead. Roll the film.
All right, thank you very much for the invitation, and hello everybody. I'm very excited to be presenting today, and I will talk about QIRA, which is our brand for renewable BDO, or also known as bio-BDO, which we will be bringing to the market in 2 years. So what is this solution? And what I would like to start with is a short introduction, which will be done by a short video.
The world never stands still. It evolves, and we evolve with it, developing novel ideas inspired by nature. But bringing them to life isn't easy. When the complexity of change overwhelms us, we look for solutions that are both effective and simple. Solutions such as QIRA. QIRA is the next generation of BDO, bio-based, made from renewable feedstock, easy to implement, and vastly reducing CO2 emissions. QIRA means changing the source to change the game in one simple step. With QIRA, you can be sustainable without compromising on quality, meeting consumers' expectations. QIRA is applicable in a multitude of industries, offering solutions for the entire value chain to serve as a shared collaboration platform for all players. The way to a sustainable future is open. It's one simple step with QIRA.
So a lot of great buzzwords, and I think the question still remains to a lot of you, what is BDO actually? And well, BDO, from our point of view, is an awesome platform chemical, which is actually the source for a lot of great materials, such as spandex, or also known as elastane, TPUs, polyurethanes, PBT is an engineering plastic, but also biodegradable plastics such as PBS and PBAT, which I believe are known to many of you and are experiencing a great boom right now. The problem with this BDO today is that it's produced from oil, gas, and coal. Now, QIRA can replace this conventional BDO directly, but it's bio-based, and so this is a true drop-in solution. And thus, by replacing conventional BDO with QIRA, we enable all of these great materials to improve significantly in their sustainability performance. One aspect obviously being the bio content. So if you look at spandex fibers, or also TPUs and TPEs or copolymers, we can drive the bio content up to around 80%. Same is true for polyurethanes. Here it varies more when it comes to, or depending on the system that you're building. And with PBS and PBAT, we can actually now achieve a bio content of up to 100% if that is QIRA based. Now, the question is, how do we bring this to the market? And how do we transform those supply chains that exist today already successfully? Well, for us, collaboration is really key. We hear that a lot from brand owners. They talk about collaboration. And what we see is that a lot of them actually do reach out beyond their direct tiers down to the tier 2, tier 3 suppliers, because brand owners want to understand the actual source of their value chains down to the cradle. And so for QIRA, it is important that we team up with the material producers who convert QIRA into the respective materials, but also sit down with the brand owner so that the sustainability benefits that we bring to the supply chain are understood. So, in other words, what we're trying to do is build an ecosystem. And by all means, please, this is only examples, but what we want to do is just highlight the different products that can be produced from QIRA. So in this instance, or in this illustration here, it's spandex, TPE, TPUs, and bioplastics. What we're trying to assemble is a network of material producers who are willing to convert QIRA into different material solutions, and thus attract them brand owners who say, "Well, I actually want to use that in my product design of tomorrow's products." Now, by the same token, we're also trying to attract brand owners who will then create a pool for material producers to come to this platform. So yeah, it's a push and pull marketing that we're doing at the same time. We believe it is very necessary that we do this because we have consumers that are increasingly critical and they really demand a transparency from their favorite brands. There's actually interesting consumer studies out there that show that this younger generation becoming the tomorrow's consumers actually have more faith in their favorite brands in solving the world's problems than in their own governments. So there is a lot of pressure on brand owners, but not only from consumers, but also from other stakeholders. So it really becomes a necessity that these stakeholders can have, or that brand owners provide those stakeholders with a solid audit trail down their supply chains. And so what we want to really stand for is transparency and fact-based sustainability benefits. And there is no greenwashing with QIRA. And that is something that we believe is important, and that we need to combine these sustainability benefits with the quality concessions that a material producer like Lycra in this illustration here is bringing to the market. So with Lycra's quality promise, QIRA could now, or together with QIRA, we could bring a joint value proposition to forward to brand owners that they can then translate into the right consumer benefits or into the right claims, depending on the stakeholder that they need to convince. So obviously, if I say no greenwashing, we need to bring facts to the table. And we believe the most compelling fact that we bring to the table is our CO2 footprint, which is significantly lower compared to conventional BDO. And now you might say, well, you're looking here at the worst possible production process with acetylene-based BDO. And that is true, but what's also true is that this production process is the most common one. So if we do the math here, it's a CO2 saving compared to this industry standard of around 85%. Certificates are also important. And what we have learned from stakeholders on the material producer end, but also on the brand owner end, is that ISCC Plus is kind of the gold standard, almost the license to operate. So that is important, but we'll also look at the bio-based USDA certificate, which will support our claim that the product is really 100% made from renewable feedstocks. The HIC index is also important to the textile industry in particular, and that's where we need to work together with material producers and to showcase how this improvement or how QIRA can improve the score on the sustainability or on the HIC index. Now, there's obviously more certificates out there. We're open to all of those, but those three we've identified this far. Now, in terms of production, how do we do all of this? Well, first of all, the question maybe is, who is behind QIRA? And well, it's a joint venture created by Cargill and Helm by the name of Core. And the reasons why, or there's really complementary strength coming together, with Cargill being a leader in trading and processing agricultural commodities, and they really understand how to run industrial scale fermentations and develop the technology behind this. And so this is, after all, not a chemical process, it is a biochemical process. So the science behind it is different, and thus you need a different skill set here. Helm has been a leading chemical marketer and distribution company for more than 100 or 122 years now. And so this is the expertise that we bring to this joint venture. On the production process, we're using Genomatica's technology, which might be known to some of you. If it's a direct fermentation process. So let me explain this a little bit. What we do is we start our process by sequestering CO2 from the atmosphere by growing corn. We are then extracting the starch in that corn and convert this into glucose syrup. Now, so far, that's not really anything novel. That has been happening for decades. But this glucose syrup is now fed to these novel microorganisms in this fermentation process, where sugar is then converted into 1,4-butanediol, which we then extract. Now, what we get a lot is this question of, oh, you're using corn. Is that really sustainable? And now I think it's important to be transparent about this. And I think the immediate conclusion would be, yeah, we're using corn, and that is weighing on the heavily on the food supply chain. But I think it's important to understand the corn market in a bit more detail. And it's important, first of all, we believe it's important to understand that 99% of the corn grown in the US is so-called field corn, which is used industrially already. Only 1% of the corn in the US is so-called or is edible corn in the form of sweet corn or popcorn. So this 99% of corn today, like I said, is an industrial product already. And it's extremely versatile, and it's used for the production of ethanol, cosmetics, personal care, food packaging, tires, and so on. But what's also true is that it's used for animal feed and food ingredients. Now, if we look at how a corn kernel is what it's composed of, then it's 62% starch. There is around 4% corn oil and around 19% protein and fiber. The protein and fiber and corn oil, that's the components that are important in the food space. And starch really is, there is an abundant supply of starch out there. To show you another slide, this is how corn or dent corn is consumed today. Around 40% goes into livestock feed, but around 25% go into the production of ethanol. Now, that's something that some people argue is going to shrink over the next years as we electrify our vehicles and they run on electricity instead of ethanol. So more product will become available to be used for biomaterials. But if we actually look at the impact of biomaterials today, then less than 10% is used in this whole food and industrial space, and biomaterials only tap into 2% of the annual corn production. QIRA itself uses less than 0.1% of the US corn harvest. So it's quite minor. And the production will be integrated into one of Cargill's biorefinery complexes. We have chosen the one in Eddyville, Iowa. So if you look around, then you will find a lot of cornfields. And actually, this biorefinery complex sources corn within a radius of 100 miles. So you can say it's a very local production. We have broken ground and everything is running according to plan. The start of production will be in 2024 and will come to the market with a nameplate capacity of 65,000 tons. And it will be the first facility of its kind in the US. So with this drop-in solution, we hope to be really changing the market to really make a lot of these great materials that we use, every day, much more sustainable. And so we hope you agree with our slogan that being sustainable has never been so easy. So thank you very much for your attention, and I'd be happy to answer some of your questions.
Thank you very much for your exciting presentation and welcome Benjamin Rump. Hello, thank you for having you here, being live with us. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Hello, thank you. Nice to be here. How are you guys?
Oh,
Yeah, we are great.
really
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you too. Yeah.
Also,
Good.
welcome from my side. You are in Hamburg right now?
That's correct.
Okay.
At our headquarters here in Hamburg.
That's where I come from as well. Nice.
Oh, very good.
Good.
Moin moin then.
Moin moin, yes. Great. So, of course, we have a few questions from the chat. The listeners are interested in the following. I know you have talked about this in your presentation, but someone else wants to know it. What annual production is planned for QIRA in future?
So that is 65,000 tons per year. And if I can maybe put that a little bit into perspective, BDO, petrochemical BDO plant that is coming to the market these days has a capacity of around 100,000 tons. So with that, it's really scalable and allows large material producers to completely make the switch from conventional BDO to QIRA.
Okay.
That makes sense, yes.
We have another question here, and if I interpreted it right, they want to know, is there enough BDO also to be used in the biopolymer industry? Or is all the capacity already booked out for other applications?
Yeah, so I think there is a lot of interest in our product, which is great. I think if you look at the growth projections for some bioplastics and looking at the PBAT or PBAT project list in China, for example, yeah, there will definitely not be enough capacity. But our clear strategy is to grow further. So hopefully this will only be the first of many assets to follow. And I'm also sure that this is a technology that can also be utilized by other companies in the future. But
Okay.
happy to be the trailblazer here.
Yeah, but this, yeah, we are interested, of course, in our biopolymer PBS. Do you already have experience? Do you, yeah, can you help us getting a nice PBS with your BDO?
Yeah, I mean it's a drop in. So what that means, it comes with exactly the same specification as conventional BDO. So I see no reason why this couldn't be used in that space either.
Okay,
Okay.
that's good. As yeah, your mother companies are quite big companies. Is there also interest to cooperate with smaller companies, with SMEs, to develop together cooperation in certain applications?
Oh, for sure. So I think we're not necessarily only after the large corporations. With this first asset, it is our goal to really show the diversity of in use of QIRA. So the more applications, the more industries we can get to. So the larger we can grow our ecosystem, the better it is, I think, for everyone.
Okay, so I have another question.
Okay, go on, Peter.
Is there also a planning, because one company is a German company, to start also operation here in, let's say, a production here in Europe?
I can't speak on behalf of them, or I wish I knew where they were with their plans. But I think, you know, for from our perspective, as we want to grow this in the our business in the future, I think we will look at other geographies as well. But there is no plans for a second facility, or no timeline yet for this for a second facility. I think we're completely focused on this on getting the first plant up and running, and then we'll take it from there.
Sure, time will show, right?
Yes.
And then
If there's anything to announce, then I hope, I'm sure you'll pick it up.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I learned the first physical property is the price. Is it competitive to the fossil-based BDO, or will it be competitive?
So I think, I believe yes. There is. I think what's important to understand is that the QIRA has a different price dynamic or different cost dynamics. So a fermentation process is usually a bit higher on the fixed cost and lower on variable cost. Whereas if you look at petro BDO market, which I think just over the past 24 months has swung between $1,000 and almost as high as $5,000. I mean, I guess the first question mark is I would put to the sustainability of value chains economically with such a volatile feedstock. So what we offer is much more steady prices. And
that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question too from the audience. I know you have talked about this in your lecture already. So how well is bio-based BDO really suitable for reducing CO2 emissions?
Well, substantially. So I mean the life cycle assessment that we make or that we have made will continuously be updated. But where we are right now is a significant improvement of up to 93, 94%.
Okay, wow.
So we're very pleased with that, and that's probably the strongest argument for the switch to QIRA. So
Sure.
we're happy. I mean, I think the world is it's a bit tired of greenwashing, and consumers and other stakeholders are becoming much more critical about this. So I think when you are sustainable, this should really be backed up by facts, and that's what we really want to stand for.
Yeah, so great.
That's a great statement.
It's a great statement. And last word, so you're working on this, on sustainability. Great. It's a good goal, definitely.
Yeah.
So do you have...
I don't have any other question.
So, yeah, we don't have any other questions. So we are very happy that you joined us live. And we wish you all the best for your company. Good luck with researching. And who knows?
Yeah, and I wish good cooperation
Yeah,
with
sure.
anybody.
Yeah, so maybe we see each
Perfect.
other next time. Okay,
Thanks
thank
a
you
lot.
very
Thank you
much.
very much, and thank you for having me.
Great, thank you, and have a good time. Bye.